The real strengths, I think, in the way in which Wales is going about this curriculum reform is that it hasn't simply concentrated on how do you create a new curriculum or a new approach to curriculum and assessment. It's tried to answer the very important question of if we're creating this new curriculum and assessment, what are the conditions we need to put in place in order to give the best chance for that new curriculum to become a reality in schools throughout Wales. So the way in which Wales is engaging with a very comprehensive reform programme, it's looking in depth at the nature of professional learning. How do we ensure that our teachers are both confident and capable and competent in terms of dealing with a very different kind of context from the one that they've been used to? How do we ensure that our school leaders are in a position to feel confident that the way in which they're taking their school forward will serve their young people well? The creation of Welsh Leadership Academy is an example of the commitment to leadership. And how do we ensure that the accountability structure that surrounds, that is essential in any public service, but how do we ensure that accountability structure encourages good behaviours and doesn't reinforce bad behaviours? And Wales is addressing all of those. So I think that the comprehensive nature of the reform programme here in Wales is one of the very few examples internationally of a country that is approaching this in a systematic way, trying to get all the pieces of the jigsaw in place so the picture in the lid is one that reflects the kind of ambition we have for the young people of Wales.
It's really important that the different parts of the system, so for example, the accountability group, the professional learning group, the groups concerned with curriculum development, that all of these communities work together. Because a little like the back of an old-fashioned, if you take the back from an old-fashioned watch, you'll see there are lots of cogs. And if any one of these cogs stops, then the whole watch doesn't work. So in the same way, all of these parallel aspects of the reform have to work together, have to be coordinated in order that the new curriculum really can give the young people of Wales better life chances. Curriculum design is absolutely key to the success of the new curriculum, and the Curriculum and Assessment Group has been working in very close partnership with the groups who have been working on different areas of the curriculum and those who have responsibility for professional learning to make sure that this is joined up. It will take all of these groups working together to tackle some of the challenges that have been very helpfully recently identified in the feedback and consultation process.
I think it would be fair to say that it's a two-way process, you know? I'm providing the input that I can from my background, which is in child development and developmental psychology, but I've got to say I'm learning so much as well. And to me, there's something here which is about the whole being far more than just the sum of the parts. And so I feel that what happens when I'm working with the practitioners, with those people who are on the ground ultimately delivering the curriculum, is much more than me just providing my expertise. It's actually nurturing a dialogue, nurturing a conversation, and I think there's something very special about that.
There's an international debate taking place about education. Why do children go to school? What is it that we can best do with children during the relatively short time they're at school that's going to equip them for a life that we can't even begin to imagine? At the course of the 21st century and into the 22nd century, which is the lives that those young people are going to live, they're still going to be alive, most of them in the 22nd century. So what do we do with them during that short time they're in school in order to help them not just to cope, but to thrive in a world where the nature and pace of change is growing almost exponentially? And that's a debate that's taking place internationally. OECD have got a project called the 2030 Project, which is saying, is asking that question, is saying what in 2030 might the school curriculum in different jurisdictions, different countries look like in order to take account of this rapidly changing environment in which we're all living. So if you look at countries across the world, as diverse as Finland or Singapore or Australia, they're all asking those questions. And Wales is one of the leading countries in that field. Wales is early in the process. It's asking fundamental questions about the nature of school education, why young people go to school, and it's thinking that through in a way that is genuinely intended to address not just what young people should learn in the course of their education, but how can we help them become the kind of young people who are going to thrive in the 21st century.